was that within each one of us is the capacity in some incredible way to do what he did with his resurrection. He actually stood testament and said that we will do even greater things than he did. Now, he just simply understood the whole deal. And we've then, ever since then, through some kind of mechanism, made enemies of each of ourselves based upon someone's long nose or tinge of complexion or whatever. And the moment we start to do this, we are endemically separating things, you know. And as soon as you do that, you lose your freedom to roam and find the truth. As soon as you do that, you are a fool. And that is the problem. We have been kind of pushed into all these foolish outlooks without looking at it with pristine, logical thinking. And that really is our protection. Reason is our protection. Look at it as clearly as you possibly can, not through the claims of individuals. And that's the problem about subjective experiences, is that no matter how beautiful the people might be in their example that say they have these experiences, no one else can share in them themselves. And here are these beings saying, if you follow a simple rule, add, don't divide, bring things together, don't separate and push apart. If you simply do that, your mind creates a power of compunctions that will bring together and actually go against the second law of thermodynamics. That's the clincher. You can actually beat the second law by the property of your will, your compunction. And the more you do this, and the longer you do this, the more you can unwind your atoms. I believe you can literally unwind your atoms. We're mostly hydrogen, the simplest atom. We can and that's what I think Jesus did. He was such a wondrous being in all the good things he did that he actually did the business and he was ready to go. He took Peter, James, and John up this mountain and said, "Have a look at this, guys." You know, and he shone brighter than the sun. And I think he was then not quite physically human in the sense we might be. You know, he was not quite totally atomic, if you like. He was loose, if you like. So when he went to his crucifixion, he was almost ready to actually come back again with the resurrection, which happened under a piece of cloth that Andrew so evocatively described. John wants to come in, okay. I think, here.
Yeah, I mean, really, just to just sort of add this up and to summarize just a little bit. I mean, once you get to the end of the book, Ian, you'll find it's absolutely amazing the way it all ties in together, because we've been talking about grays, we've been talking about interception, and now we have the Shroud of Turin. And one of the most fascinating things about this is that really, as Andrew and Nigel have said, if the Shroud of Turin is in fact generated by really a very, very bright flash of light where effectively Jesus was able to unwrap his atoms and turn them back into really what they came from at the beginning of the universe and put them into this other continuum. And he also made other statements like, you know, through me you can enter the kingdom of heaven, and ye are gods and ye know it not. It rather presupposes that we are, in fact, able to do that and to actually perform that operation on ourselves, should we follow the generalized rules that he and other teachers have shown us. And really, I think when one puts that in context with the Greys, who have genetically manipulated us, I think that although we may have been genetically manipulated, I don't think at any point we ever lose our free will to choose to actually go back to that other state of order should we wish to. And I think really that's the message, that the shroud may be in fact physical or remnant of physical proof that actually shows us that there really is hope and that there's actually a way out of this for human beings should they wish to take it.
That's the exciting thing, and we're not trying to propound any particular type of view here. As you see, Dr. Silverman's a Jew. I am loosely what they would have called a Christian, though I cannot say to you that I follow any kind of organized religion at all. And, of course, John is also from a kind of Christian Baha'i background. We have all kinds of designations being attached to us, none of which I think each of us wanted ourselves, perhaps.
Yeah, I didn't mean that in any religious perspective. I was speaking as a scientist when I said that.
Absolutely. And Yeah. Hey, if I can just finish
Okay.
this, may I just go here? Just a bit left to try and finish the point, actually. You see, the Greys, they can only exist for life, for life. They are kind of adapting us for their kind of existence, heading for only immortality that we can know, a physical immortality, that according to the laws of physics, of course, is no immortality at all. It has to end one day, according to cosmology and so on, with the cold death of the entire universe, and so on. However, if we live for a state of being beyond death, not the state of being in life, kind of thing, we might find the antidote for anything the Greys can bring to bear on us. I believe that the Shroud of Turin is the most powerful illustration paradigm to demonstrate the power over atoms of someone who lived for existence beyond the atomic state. And that's the real point. It all comes down to which type of immortality we choose to aim for. Non-physical immortality of mind and spirit, or the physical immortality sought by the Greys. So that's, I think, the big choice for anything like this kind of discussion, if you see what I'm trying to say, to put before people.
Okay.
Just bear in mind that with the physical immortality, so-called, there is no you anymore to be there. If it's just this is the problem with what the scientists have come up with without understanding, without recognizing what's staring them in the face from behind their eyes, if you see what I mean, that a human being in their mind and in their capacity is far more than any pile or soup of atoms is ever capable of. They have this idea that the way to exist is by sort of uploading your mind program onto a chip and then sending that into space. It's total nonsense, of course. That chip isn't you. You're not continuing there. And that's the kind of idea. It's not even an idea. They don't have ideas because they've got no minds. That's what a Grey would do.
Yeah.
And that's really the danger, that we don't see that false paradigm. And it'll be sold as a bill of goods to us by certain individuals, maybe even commerce and companies and so on. And we might be losing that fantastic facility we all have to maybe live forever, if we do the thing right. Or we could go down the other way and become a monkey again.
Wow.
Nice way to end that, I think.
Well, I've got to say, that was an absolutely amazing presentation. I really felt like I didn't have to put much input into that. I was just sitting here on the edge of my seat, just really enjoying what you had to say, and you've ended it in such a positive light as well. So, the people that listen to the show, I'm sure they're going to take a great comfort in the end of what you said there.
Well, I'm really glad there are people like you making a go of this and trying to get this darn thing out there in the mainstream. I really didn't want to write any books, to be honest. I had too much of a busy life doing other things and so on. But when this kind of discovery came, I'm really glad my son asked me that question. Can
I just ask you, what does your son think now?
Well, actually, I don't dare ask Darren what he thinks, because his mind is so far ahead of mine, I don't think I'll be able to catch up, to be honest.
Okay. Well, I mean, thank you for coming on. I feel quite privileged that you've come on and shared this with me and our listeners.
Not at all. Our pleasure. Our
pleasure.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay.
All the best.
Good night.